scared because of the Easter Sunday attacks that came in, and the country was very much security-wise deteriorating back into olden days that nobody wants to be in. What is it going to look like under your government or under your presidency? Security per se, sovereignty per se, because these things are much more valuable to half of this country. They still think about nationalism as a good thing, not a bad thing. They're not shying away from the fact calling themselves a Sri Lankan. Now, this is a sect that exists. How can you, because most of the time the approach or what is being said is that you all don't have that respect towards sovereignty, respect towards nationalism, respect towards Sri Lankanism. Is that in existence under the SJB plan or Sajith Premadasa president?
So first and foremost, you gave the reasons as to how and why people voted. In actual fact, there has been no scientific study as to the voting behavior at the last presidential election. There has been no proper scientific psephological study. Psephology is the study of voting behavior, and the polls and the various opinions that have been put out are absolutely farcical, and I would caution you to come up with statements after justification through proper scientific polls. Having said that, you talk of nationalism, you talk of sovereignty. What nationalism in a bankrupt country? Is bankruptcy nationalism? Does bankruptcy promote and protect sovereignty? Do we achieve the nationalistic goals or protection of sovereignty when we are bankrupt? Of course not. So we have to have a very broad interpretation when we talk of sovereignty and nationalism and national security. National security is not just military security. It's military, it's political, it's educational, it's health, it's livelihood, food, investments, industry, agriculture, fisheries. All those major issues and elements, that's what encapsulates national security. If we are progressing on those fronts, then we achieve sovereignty. Do remember that nationalism, patriotism, sovereignty has to be tangible. And it has to be felt. People should feel it. So in a country where we have economic retardation and economic depression, we have a different manner in which we define sovereignty. We believe eradication of poverty, promotion of exports, export-led development and growth, promoting foreign direct investment, embarking on a digital revolution which is felt by all of the 10,126 state schools and the university system. That's sovereignty. That's nationalism. That is patriotism. Patriotism as a word, nationalism and national security and sovereignty as a word per se would not suffice.
Indeed.
It has to be substantive and it has to be substantial. We, the SJB, are capable of achieving those challenging and onerous tasks.
Would you approach those areas that you clearly explained, education, food, in making sure that it grows up, but would it be done in a manner where Sri Lanka comes first and not some regional country or some other power play or a regional power play that utilize this severe situation that we are in, the dire conditions that our entire nation is in, and the plight that we are actually looking at the world, and in a situation, would they manipulate us to a certain extent where under your government or your presidency would be able to thrive rather than not think about the people of Sri Lanka and think about the investors or whoever that is out there?
So you yourself now agree that Sri Lanka is vulnerable?
Yes.
We are vulnerable.
Very much.
Why are we vulnerable? Because of bankruptcy. This bankruptcy was created by so-called pseudo-patriots, so-called pseudo-nationalists, so-called patriots who were championing the cause of protecting sovereignty. But at the end of the day, they made sure that their family interests gained primacy and priority over the country's national interests. Make no mistake, our major theme and motto is Sri Lanka first. And we will ensure that in lieu of that objective, that we'll walk the talk.